Do you read with reverse tarot cards in your tarot readings, or do you end up avoiding them altogether? Or maybe you find them a little bit confusing, or you worry that your readings are going to be full of this like doom and gloom if you start to include reversals. Well, my friend, you are not alone because so many people, even professional tarot readers, tell me that they hate reading reverse tarot cards. And do you want to know why? It's because they've never actually learned how powerful and simple and expansive it can be to include reverse cards in your tarot readings. Now, what if I could show you 4 easy, foolproof ways to interpret reverse cards that is going to empower you to go deeper with your tarot readings and add these incredible layers of insight to your craft? So in this video, I'm going to do exactly that. So keep watching and you will be reading with reversals and loving it in no time, I promise you. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would you want to read with reverse tarot cards when most of the time the meaning is supposedly negative? Seriously, if you have ever read a book about tarot card meanings, you'll likely find that reversed meanings are generally the opposite of the upright meaning. So let's say if you get King of Pentacles and it means financial wealth and abundance, then the reversal of that card means poverty and loss. So it's not really the empowering tarot reading that you're hoping for, right? Now, what if I told you that there's a different way to interpret the reverse cards that goes way beyond just the opposite meaning? What if there was a way to read reversals that led to more meaning and more insight in your tarot readings? Well, the good news is that there is a better way to read with reversals. And once you master these simple steps for interpreting reverse tarot cards, you are going to open up a whole new dimension to your tarot readings. And then you can go even deeper with your intuitive insights. And here's the thing, when you read with reversals, you can start to see the light and the shade of a situation and identify where to release any of the blocks that might be coming up. And your readings are going to show you the difference between what's happening within you versus what's happening around you, which is perfect for knowing where to make impactful changes in your life. Now, imagine expanding your understanding of what the cards can tell you in every reading without having to have that doom and gloom. It's pretty cool, right? So, you ready to learn how? Let's dive into my 4 favorite methods for reading reverse tarot cards. And these are the exact same methods that I use in my own personal practice and what I teach to my students in all of my tarot training courses. And I can tell you that these techniques really work. So, the first method that I love to use is internalized energy. So at the heart of it, tarot cards are energy. So each and every card is an expression of energy in its many different formats. So for example, the Empress is an expression of abundance, fertility, and mother-like energy. And when we encounter the Empress in our everyday lives, we might experience her energy as nurturing and taking care of others or successfully bringing a new project to life. So an upright tarot card represents this externally expressed energy, which is really the energy that that tarot card is, but expressed outwardly into the world. So you experience this energy in your external environment, in your relationships with people, and in your situations that you're dealing with. Now, on the other hand, you've got reverse tarot cards, and they actually can mean internalized energy or internally expressed energy. So they're representing energy that's actually held within ourselves or that's more private, maybe even a bit more secretive. So an upright Empress might represent taking care of others, but a reversed Empress might represent taking care of yourself. So to make it even easier, you can take the upright meaning of the tarot card and then add self or private to that interpretation. Now, here's what I love most about this technique. There is no good or bad message here. Think about it. The traditional reverse card meanings often focus on the opposite of the upright card meaning. So that way you can see words like deception, betrayal, manipulation in tarot books. And it's not exactly the vibe that you want for your readings, right? But when you read reversals with this internalized energy method, You're really just getting a picture of where the energy is being felt, not a whole lot of judgmental meanings from your tarot deck, right? So this technique can also show you where changes need to be made or where action needs to be taken. So if your tarot reading is mostly upright cards, then you know that you're dealing with external situations and relationships with others. But if your tarot readings are mostly reverse cards, then you know that you're dealing with yourself and any required actions or changes that need to happen first within yourself. So how easy is that, right? Now, the next method that I love to use for reverse cards is this too much or too little energy. So reverse tarot cards can often point to an imbalance in energy, and they show you where there's too much or too little of the energy of that card. So let's take the Queen of Wands, for example. Upright, she represents a very confident person who enjoys social situations. But then what does it look like when there's too much of this energy or too little of this energy? Maybe she's a bit too overconfident and domineering, especially in social settings. Or she might be a wallflower or a shrinking violet when she's in a room with others, which is too little of that Queen of Wands energy. So when I'm reading the cards in this way for a client, I often pose it as a question. So for example, what role does confidence in social settings play for you right now? Are you feeling overconfident or are you actually lacking confidence? And then I might ask a question like, how can you make confidence in social settings work for you? So what I'm really asking the client is to explore how they can bring this energy back into balance and alignment. And it's such a great way to empower your clients or yourself when you are doing your readings. So can you see how incorporating reverse cards in this way can give you so much more to play with in the reading, right? Now, my third method for reading reversals is the blocked energy method. Now, this method is similar to the too much, too little energy, but with a slight difference. So energy can often appear in our lives, but it can get blocked or it's not being expressed in the most constructive or full way possible. So as an example, the reverse temperance card might indicate that you're seeking out more moderation and harmony in your life, but right now there's a blockage to really experiencing that energy in a positive way. So when you see this in a reading, you could explore it by asking yourself, well, what's getting in the way of achieving moderation and harmony in my life? So this is what really helps to identify what is blocking the energy. Then you can ask, how can I release any blockages associated with moderation and harmony? And you might come up with some different answers. And if you're reading for your client, you can have a bit more of a conversation around this. And you can even pull a few more cards to really help flesh out the full story. So once you start reading reverse tarot cards, your intuition is going to really kick in and you're going to get a really good sense of whether there might be other cards that show that blocked energy or ways to release that blocked energy. And that way you can start to focus more on what do you need to do to get that energy flowing. So my final and fourth method is a really fun one. And this is a good one for those of you who might feel like you're a bit more of a visual person. You like to see things. You like looking at the pictures in the cards. So this method is all about upside down imagery. Now, I love working with the pictures in the tarot cards, especially when I want to connect more intuitively with the situation at hand. So if a tarot card appears in the reverse position, have a look at the imagery of that upside down card and see what comes to you intuitively. So if you look at like the 10 of Swords reversed, for example, it looks as if those swords are actually falling out of the man's back. So maybe the pain that's been inflicted in the past is now finally being released, and then the client can move forward into a new cycle. So especially with something like the 10, which is the end of a cycle, right? Or you could also look at, say, the reverse page of Pentacles. Have a look at that coin because it looks as if it might slip out of the man's hands. His grip isn't very tight and he doesn't seem to be really concentrating on that particular coin. So maybe this is a sign that without the necessary discipline and focus, money might be slipping out of your hands. Now, this is a really powerful technique for interpreting reverse tarot cards, especially if you are a visual person, because those images often create this instant link between your conscious and your unconscious mind and really help you to connect with your intuition. All right, so now you have 4 new ways to interpret a reverse tarot card. You're probably wondering, all right, this is awesome, but how on earth am I going to know which method to use and when? Well, the short answer is practice, practice, practice. Seriously, the more that you do your readings with reverse cards, the more familiar you're going to become with feeling into the right technique for that reading. But to get you started, I want to give you a few tips to really help you know which method to use. So, first up, mentally agree to use only one method at the beginning. Tell the universe before you start your reading how you're choosing to read reversals. So, for example, you might go, all right, universe, I'm going to interpret all of the reversals in this reading as blockages. That way, the universe is going to present to you your message through the most relevant cards, given that you're interpreting them in a certain way. Now, next thing, you can go with your gut instinct. So sometimes you just know what the card refers to, and your intuition might be guiding you towards a specific interpretation, or maybe you're drawn to a combination of interpretations. So practice tuning into your intuition and trusting it to really guide your decision on how to read each reversal. Now, often you'll find that one method fits the story that you're weaving into the spread a lot better than others. And you're just going to find that it feels like it's just clicking into place within the broader reading. Now, this brings me to my next tip, which is to actually look at the other cards in the reading. So you can look for themes across the different cards in the spread that you're using. For example, if maybe you see the Four of Cups reversed along with the Hermit, and this might suggest that your client is spending too much time alone and they're shut off from the world around them. On the other hand, if you had Four of Cups reversed with the Nine of Cups reversed, maybe they've really lost their connection with their inner selves, and these exterior opportunities are also really unfulfilling. So you can see how much more depth that you can get when you start to combine your reverse cards with other cards in the reading. So it is a surefire way to bring a lot more value to your readings. Now, my final tip on how to know which reading or method to use is simply to draw on your experience from past readings. So, for example, having done thousands, literally thousands of readings about relationships, I know that whenever I see the Three of Cups reversed in a relationship reading, 9 times out of 10, it indicates that there is a third person involved. And it's usually the client who is that third person. How do I know it? Because literally over years of giving readings, I've asked for feedback from my clients to really understand how the cards are playing out in their lives. So you can do this too. You just ask for feedback during the reading or directly after the reading, and also a few weeks or months later, and you can find out how a particular card came to life for you or for your client, and then really understand what it looked and felt like in real life. Now, it is a great idea to journal some dot points on this so that you can see where the patterns start to emerge. And maybe you'll even review your tarot journal down the track and then learn that almost every time that you pull the Ace of Wands reverse, for example, you've had a great new idea, but you've stopped yourself from taking action on it for some reason. So how useful would it be to have that level of insight in your readings, right? So now you have 4 simple yet powerful methods for interpreting reverse tarot cards. Let's get you reading with reversals straight away. So first, you need to decide if you're laying out the tarot cards to face you or your client. Just know that there's no right answer. You simply need to choose what feels right for you. But make sure that you are deciding before you start to lay out those cards, so that way you know what is upright and what's reversed. For me, I really like to read the cards facing me, and then I show the client the cards as I talk about them. Now, the next thing you need to do is get some reverse cards into your tarot deck. So my favorite method is to cut the deck into 3 piles, turn one pile from top to toe, upside down, and 180 degrees, so that those upright cards will become reverse cards and vice versa. Then pull all those piles back together and start shuffling, and you can repeat that a few times so that you feel really confident you've got those reverse cards in your deck. Then go ahead and do the reading. Now, maybe you prefer more of a messy pile shuffle by spreading out all of the cards on the table kind of crazily, moving them all around, and then picking them back up into a neat pile. Again, there is no right or wrong way to shuffle, just do what feels good for you. All right, so how are you feeling? Are you ready to add some reversed cards into your readings? I invite you to give it a go the next time that you read for yourself and see the difference that it makes. Now, if it still feels a little bit overwhelming, don't worry, because I actually have a great free tool to help you get started, and it is my Tarot Card Meanings Reference Guide. Now, inside this free reference guide, you're going to find my personal keywords for all 78 upright and reverse tarot cards, and they're all ready for you to download, print, and start using straight away. Now, I've also included a few blank tarot card meanings, a guide, so that way you can add in your own tarot card keywords into that chart as well. So all you need to do is click on the link below this video to download your free tarot card meanings printable, and you can start creating impactful readings every time you pull the tarot cards. All right, it's been a pleasure. I will see you next time. Bye for now. Hey, if you loved this video, then make sure you check out this next video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.